Rob, Ryan, thanks for sitting down with the club for your first interview like this. First of all, I guess, welcome to Wrexham, and how's it been this week?
It's been
Thanks,
pretty
Ollie.
damn amazing.
It's been pretty great.
Not gonna lie to you, Ollie. It's been kind of a dream come true that I didn't actually know I had. This is the best kind of dream come true, when you didn't know. I thought I understood a bit about the culture here, and I thought I understood a bit about the sort of importance of football as it pertains to culture, and I know that I didn't now. I really didn't. I mean, this has just been incredible. It's been a revelation every step of the way, and I'm just super, super excited to be a part of this.
There's obvious people are speaking about the takeover, the investment. A lot of people talk about the money you guys have put in, but I guess for you as well, the emotional investment that you guys have put in seems to have been really clear this week.
Yeah, and that's something that is hard to express from thousands of miles away and only through the visual medium of either photographs or text or tweet or video, but actually being able to be here and to interact directly, person to person, has just been a dream come true. And exactly what we've been waiting for the better part of a year.
Yeah.
In terms of, you mentioned watching the games at the fans forum, Ryan, you mentioned some particular messages that you get from Rob during the game.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
I feel like this is the reason Rob and I are a good pair. He gets real fired up. I stay pretty measured, even though on the inside I might be dying inside. And it works really well, but that's the passion that, drove us to this entire revelation and project was Rob, he's intense about this stuff, and I think it's really important. I think it's really wonderful. I think it's actually a beautiful match and marriage to the culture of football. So
It's potentially very dangerous.
It's also
because
very
I can go
dangerous.
0 to 10 very quickly, but I can go 10 to 0, and Ryan just remains at a cool 5.
I can talk him back down to
Yes.
a 9.9.
Yes, yes. Well, and depending on what the situation is, like,
Yeah.
we go up 3-0, and I'm like, book your tickets. We're going to the FA Cup final this year,
Yeah.
right? And Ryan's like, well, just relax. Let's just see. And then we go down 1-0, and I'm like, we got to clean house, man. I mean, we got to do something. He's like,
Yeah.
just relax. We have the club, and I think that's what makes us a good partnership.
Yeah, it really does.
So how were you on Tuesday then?
Actually, I mean, Tuesday was I don't think he was at a 5 on Tuesday, because like once you're there and seeing it and feeling it, especially that first 20 minutes, I mean, that was brutal to go down so quickly within a span of, I think, 3 or 4 minutes, that first goal to the second goal. And then very quickly after that, the going down a man, we just felt like in despair. That being said, it was our first game, so we were still hopeful and excited. But I remember turning to Humphrey, and he said, at that point we had just lost Bryce. He got walked off, and we turned to Humphrey and we said, what happens now? And he said, well, if we can come back to draw, it will be historic. And we were like, well,
It's not what you want to hear in that moment.
That's not what you want to hear. And then it turns out that we go up and we go and score two goals, which is the first time that the club had scored 2 goals a man down in 13 years. So it turned out to be historic. Unfortunately, it wasn't the ending that we wanted. But I didn't leave in despair. I left actually really respecting and the fight, and really excited to see the grit that this club has.
Yeah, I knew that this game was an emotional roller coaster. What I learned in Maidenhead was that it's also a curse. Like, I actually thought for a moment, I wish I didn't know this. I wish I didn't love this. I wish I didn't, because it's just, you live and die and live and die again, every other minute in these matches. And I hate that. As a measured person, I hate that kind of roller coaster. So yeah, football is a curse. It's a beautiful, gorgeous, lovely, wonderful, soul-annihilating curse.
I would say that fandom in general, I think if you really pin down individual fans across the globe, I don't think if a person was truly being honest, I don't think that they would say that they're enjoying being a fan or having fun. It's more of something you can't avoid. It's something you need. It's something a part of you. It's something you share with the people you love, oftentimes the people you don't love. But we're all a part of this thing, and there's just no getting away from it. So yes, it can be exciting, it can be enjoyable, it can be joyous, and then it can drop you down to the pit of despair. And so in terms of it like being fun, do I wish I didn't feel this? Of course. I want to walk around and not care. I don't want to be devastated. I don't want my entire weekend to be ruined by 8:30 Pacific time because we lost, but that's where I am.
We're also not, we're never going to be like your typical normal owner or co-chairman. We're not 75-year-old dudes who are dead inside. We are going to be the ones screaming like maniacs when we're at the matches, and screaming like maniacs when we're at, when we're not able to be here and we're at home watching it on the live feed. They're intense and they're incredible, and I have such a massive amount of respect, not just for this club, these players, and this support staff and coaching staff, but for the supporters. I mean, to hang in there for as long as they have, for the most incredible windfall of ups and downs and all arounds, and the fact that we're able to sit here and host, just under 10,000 supporters on Saturday. That's not amazing. That's not wonderful. That is a miracle. That just doesn't happen, particularly in the National League. And I'm so my hat will be forever off to Wrexham, the town, and the supporters of this club.
You talk quite a bit about storytelling in sport, the emotion of that. How did it feel, I guess, first walking into the ground at Maidenhead? And I'll always remember this, there was a ripple throughout the away end when the realisation that you guys were there, and that feeling that and the noise you got, and then also that feeling you got when you first walked into the racecourse ground, where, I mean, you were quite literally taken off your feet.
I couldn't find words when I stepped on the racecourse. I didn't. I genuinely thought I would be impressed with it, or I would, find that kind of, oh wow, we're involved with this historic club, and I literally couldn't stand anymore. I mean, we immediately called our families and FaceTimed. I FaceTimed my wife, and he FaceTimed his wife and kids, and it was just, it's almost unspeakable. I genuinely believe, and this isn't hyperbole, that words are too idiotic and clumsy to properly describe how that felt. And maybe in time I'll be able to kind of describe it a little bit better, but I was just taken off my feet. It was really magical.
We were just on the drive over here, FaceTime. You were FaceTiming with your family, and Blake asked to pass the phone over to me, and she said, "Can you believe it? This was your dream. Can you believe that you're actually there, that you're experiencing it? What is it like?" And actually to hear from her specifically, to know that that we're all sharing this together. So Caitlin's not here, my boys aren't here, Blake's not here, Ryan's girls aren't here, but we're all in this together, and they're making the sacrifices right now so that we can be here, and that next time when we come and we can bring everybody, to recognize that this is a shared experience, not just between me and Ryan, not just between me and my family or Ryan and his family, but our families and the entire community of Wrexham. I mean, what gets better than that?
Smash cut to 3 weeks from now. Caitlin and Blake are here and we're at home.
Okay, with the kids. Okay, you guys do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys do it.
Training yesterday, you've been training as well this morning. Rob, you've been fairly involved with training as well. How have you found meeting the players and finally being able to speak to them face to face?
I mean, truly, that is a dream come true. I mean, I have always been such a massive fan of athletics, to the point where I tried out for every single team you could possibly try out for, and I'm just so naturally unathletic, and so I was always so small and undersized, and just never had the ability, the natural ability. I had the tenacity, but I found that I was just never good enough to compete really in any other sport. But I always had this desire, so I sort of transferred that into a different profession. That's why I became an actor instead. It turns out acting is easier than playing football, I think. But beyond that, I was also just always a fan. So for me to come out here and to just mess around with professional athletes is like truly a dream come true. And also a lot of it was, yes, it was just sort of like a bit of fun, but it was also the first time that we were meeting the players, and we wanted to break down that barrier, because the last 8 months have been, these stories about us from afar. Maybe they watch our TV shows or our movies, or maybe they don't, but they sort of know of us, what they read and what they hear, but they've never really interacted with us. So we thought the best way to do that was to just jump right in and just try to have as much fun as possible.
As quickly as humanly possible, we want to dissolve whatever weird barrier there is between us and them. And that goes two ways. I'm in awe when I sit there and I'm like, there's Paul Mullen, there's Aaron Hayden, there's there's Jacob Record, there's all these, Jamie Record, there's, so I'm a little geeked out as well because I've been following and watching these guys from, sometimes a pretty great YouTube feed from afar and sometimes a pretty terrible one. So, for me, I was a little stuttery with them as well, and I was excited to finally get to sort of, meet them face to face.
So in terms of you guys now, you fly back to the States pretty soon. What have you guys got coming up? And I'm sure you'll be trying to keep up with the football club as best you can while you're working.
Yeah, sad to leave, that's for sure. This hopefully we can get back here as soon as possible. I mean, we're going back because it's Halloween, and we have kids, and Halloween and where we live is bigger than anything. So if we miss that, we'll both be recently deceased.
Yeah.
So we're heading back for that. We're very excited about it. But this is pretty incredible.
Yeah, well, we watch or listen to every game. Hopefully, we can watch more than we listen. But no offense, Mark Griffiths, but I do love. I love being able to watch the games, and the feed that we get from here is so different from the feed that we get, anywhere else. So hopefully we can watch as many as we can as we move forward.
Tough schedule coming up too. Just I think we have a Saturday, a Tuesday, another Saturday coming up next week. So.
Well, guys, thank you very much for sitting down with us, and we look forward to seeing you again, hopefully sometime soon.
Thanks
Ollie.
Appreciate it.